Power is not only built through action, it is built through language. Before influence, before systems, before legacy, there are words. Most people underestimate how much authority is lost through careless speech. They think power is posture, presence, volume. But in reality, power leaks through over-explaining, emotional responses, loose commitments, poorly framed language, and defensive argument. Week 46 focused on verbal discipline, because language is not decoration, it is architecture, and architecture determines structure. Monday, speak less than you know. He who guards his mouth preserves his soul. Proverbs 13 verse 3. Not a word does one utter except that there is an observer ready. Quran 50 verse 18. Most people talk to relieve tension. They explain to be understood, elaborate to prove intelligence, and fill silence to avoid discomfort. But silence is leverage. Science confirms. Concise communication increases perceived intelligence, confidence, and authority. Overspeaking reduces clarity and weakens impact. In the simulation, brevity sharpens signal. Every unnecessary word reveals insecurity, invites objection, opens negotiation, and dilutes presence. The strongest communicators do not speak more. They speak precisely. Monday was about restraint. Not withholding truth, not manipulating, but eliminating excess. When you speak less, people listen more carefully, your words carry weight, and your presence expands. Silence creates gravity, and gravity pulls attention. Tuesday, words create frames. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18 verse 21, and speak to people good words. Quran 2 verse 83, the first person to define the frame controls the direction. Language shapes perception. Perception shapes decisions. Decisions shape outcomes. Science confirms. Linguistic framing alters how information is interpreted and how decisions are made. The same event described differently produces different reactions. In the simulation, language directs outcome. For example, problem creates tension. Adjustment creates movement. Failure creates shame. Feedback creates growth. Attack creates defense. Disagreement creates dialogue. Frames are invisible architecture. Most people unconsciously accept frames imposed on them. Precision in speech means naming accurately, refusing distorted labels, clarifying definitions, and defining situations early. When you control the frame, you control direction. This is not manipulation, it is clarity. Words are not neutral, they position reality. Wednesday. Never speak from emotion. Let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak. That's from James, chapter 1, verse 19. And, the strong man is the one who controls himself when angry. That's from the Hadith. The truth is, emotion distorts language. Anger compresses time, fear exaggerates threat, and excitement, well, it tends to overpromise. Science confirms this. Emotionally charged speech increases escalation and decreases persuasion effectiveness. When the brain is in emotional arousal, it actually loses strategic processing capacity. In the simulation, emotional words create long consequences. Words spoken in anger linger, they fracture trust, and they create reputational residue. Even when the emotion fades, the words remain. So, Wednesday reinforced a rule. Never speak from emotional elevation. Pause. Edit internally. Delay if necessary. Silence under emotion is strength. Speech under emotion is liability. The disciplined speaker does not suppress emotion. He just waits until it subsides. Clarity returns. Precision returns. Authority returns. Thursday. Don't argue. Clarify. A soft answer turns away wrath. That's Proverbs chapter 15 verse 1. And argue in the best manner. That's from the Quran, chapter 16 verse 125. Arguments are ego contests. They seek victory, they defend identity, and they escalate tone. Clarification, though, seeks truth. Science confirms. Calm clarification reduces escalation and increases the probability of resolution. In the simulation, clarity dissolves noise. Thursday distinguished between proving someone wrong and making the situation clear. When you argue, volume rises, positions harden, and emotion escalates. But when you clarify, confusion reduces, common ground appears, and ego softens. Precision in speech means replacing force with structure. Instead of saying, "You're wrong," say, "Let's define the issue clearly." Instead of, "That's ridiculous," say, "Help me understand your reasoning." Precision disarms aggression, and structure lowers defensiveness. You do not need to win arguments, you need to maintain clarity. Clarity outlasts conflict. Friday. Your word is your signature. Let your yes be yes. That's Matthew chapter 5 verse 37. And fulfill every commitment. That's Quran chapter 17 verse 34. Speech builds reputation faster than action because speech predicts action. If your words are inconsistent, trust erodes, authority weakens, and credibility fractures. Science confirms. Verbal consistency predicts perceived reliability more strongly than charisma or tone. In the simulation, your word anchors credibility. Friday reinforced a disciplined principle. Commit sparingly, deliver completely. Loose promises weaken systems. Careless commitments dilute authority. Every time you exaggerate, overpromise, hedge, or backtrack, you subtract from your signature. But when your word aligns with action, your presence stabilizes. You do not need to persuade, your history speaks. Speech becomes the architecture of trust. Closing reflection. Language as structural power. Week 46 refined something subtle but foundational. You learned that brevity strengthens presence, framing directs perception, emotional speech creates damage, clarification beats argument, and consistency builds credibility. Speech is not performance, it is construction. It builds trust, clarity, authority, continuity, or it dismantles them. At this stage of the arc, you no longer react emotionally, you no longer seek validation, you no longer defend ego, you no longer misuse power. Now you refine language, because language is the final visible expression of internal discipline. When speech becomes precise, presence stabilizes, leadership strengthens, trust deepens, and systems endure. The strongest leaders are not the loudest, they are the clearest. Precision in speech is not about silence alone, it's about alignment between thought, word, and action. When the same line, power consolidates, and when power consolidates, authority no longer needs volume, it simply needs truth, delivered precisely. That is speech as stewardship, that is discipline in language, that is transcendent reality. Live the code.